Thanks for joining us for the Member xCite presentation. The Member xCite presentation is informative, interesting to the audience, and showcases the strengths of the presenter as an entrepreneur and their area of expertise. It's not a sales pitch, it's a 10-minute educational and insightful exploration into what they do. And of course, it's exciting.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our xCite presenter today. We have Rastogi from Get Rare Properties to present to us on behind every successful property portfolio, there is an I team. When you are looking to get started in the property market, or even if you are already in and building on your property portfolio, you will need to surround yourself with a team of licensed professionals. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for we have Rastogi.
So the whole thing about property portfolio or investing in properties, first of all, let's go and talk about why we should be investing at all, right? We work very hard for money. Now the thing is that earned money can work harder for us, provided we are strategic and make it really worthwhile for us. Now, the challenge is that property investing is easy. All you have to do is basically go out, get a property, get a mortgage, and you're done. But successful investing is not. We really need a very good team behind you to be able to help you with all the aspects of investing. The key thing is that the statistics says that 90% of the property investors in Australia have only one or two properties. But to gain financial freedom or that wealth, we really need 5 or more properties. And the statistics says, again, it's only less than 1% of property investors in Australia. So that is basically less than 10 people among 1,000 investors. But they're only about 33% investors. So you're talking about a very handful as a percentage. Like we are talking about maybe 34,000 people in Australia who have made it successfully to have a decent portfolio behind them. Now, the thing that I actually shared here is that we can't, as a business coach, or as everyone would say, that we really need to have an end goal in mind. So, and that becomes our starting point for us to start with. It's just like putting into your GPS that what's your destination. Once you know your destination, then you can work it out. The GPS can work it out automatically how soon or how quick you have to go and what route you have to take. Even if you take a wrong turn, you will be rerouted. And that's what investment strategy does for you. Now, we really need to be clear that we are thinking about buying a portfolio, not just a property. And what it means is that we really need to be mindful of the budget that we have, not only for the cash that we have today, also the borrowing capacity, but also your risk budget. Lots of people just blow out on the risk budget in the first or the second go, and that actually holds them back. The analogy or the metaphor that I use is that if you want to build a tower as a multi-story tower, we can't really just go with the intent of having one floor first, and then later on coming back after a few years when we have capacity to build the second floor and then put the second floor. The challenge is that we might not have enough capacity to do it again for the third one because it was not strategic. Even if we have, then the challenge is that we don't really have any foundation under it that it can sustain or withhold the third or the fourth floor. On the contrary, if we know what is the size of the building, how many floors we are talking in the building, we can work it backwards, that this is my end goal, and then, okay, how deep the foundation should be, and then working it accordingly, using our resources, budgets, everything together. Now, it's very easy for me to stand here and say that, okay, we should be thinking about a portfolio, but then we really need to be strategic about it. Sometimes we don't really have enough savings to start with to build wealth. It's somehow become a cliche that, okay, somebody is working and it's financial free, but because we are surrounded by the 90% of the investors there, and we are following herd behavior, and that's the challenge that we face in the industry. We really need to go and sit down, understand what we should be looking at to build wealth. Piece by piece, brick by brick, we build that tower, provided we know what we are doing. So what I actually shared here in the handouts that I've given to you, there are 4 steps to portfolio construction. We really need to understand what we want to achieve, as in how tall the tower is in my metaphor, right? And then come up with a strategy. That becomes your GPS system in a way to guide you through what we should be doing, and then we pick one property at a time. So I'm not really saying build a tower of 10 floors straight away. We are still going for the first floor at a time. And then the way we do it, take into account the cash flow, the capital growth, or the equity, or the bargains, how we can manufacture growth over there. It will allow us to go for the second story accordingly, right? And then it becomes a repetitive process. In other sense, what I'm saying is that if the second slide on the handout is that there are 4 stages. One stage is acquisition, where this is the hardest, where we acquire properties. People get stuck with that, okay, I don't really have enough money, what should I be doing? What I'm saying is that, okay, let's build one property at a time with the idea that we should be thinking of putting second floor or second building in our portfolio very quickly. And then so on, we build it. Second stage is growth. Once we build that portfolio, let it grow now. Once it grows, say, I'm not really saying whether it doubles in 5 years, 7 years, 8 years, or 15 years for that matter, because it's a forward-looking thing. The idea is that it will grow if we believe in the fundamentals of property investing in Australia, which are very strong, by the way. Let it grow. Once it grows in value, we sell half of the portfolio to pay off all the debt. What it leaves us with is a fully paid off portfolio, which is helping us generate that passive income that we can live off with. So the thing is that this is not to be done by yourself. This is a very professional thing that I'm talking about. It's a very specialized role. And it's not just that we can go and find a property on our own. We have to have a strategy. So there has to be an investment strategist behind you, working with you, for you. Then we really need to have a mortgage broker, because the whole thing about property investing is that it's other people's money, concept called OPM, right? We really need to borrow money from the bank. What banks are looking at, we have to just provide that, because banks are in the business of lending money. They make money when they lend. And we as an investor, we make money when we borrow. So as long as there could be a handshake, we can borrow money. And now, again, that's a specialized role. That's where a qualified mortgage broker comes into the play. He holds a very good value out there that, okay, how we should be structuring our loan, how we should be going for the first loan so that we can still be entitled for the second loan, because borrowing capacity becomes always an issue if we are not strategic. When we are looking for a property, again, it's not our DIY step. Like, we have to be really conscious that there are so many distressed properties out there, and that's where a qualified buyer's agents can come in. Look for the right property that you should be looking for as a part of your missing piece in the portfolio, and then ticking all the boxes, provided it actually matches with your investment strategy as well, and that's how we build our portfolio, as in keep adding one property at a time. In the purchasing process, we really need a qualified lawyer, because there could be many things that could go wrong in the contract that we are buying, the property, right? A qualified lawyer would be able to go through all the pieces in the contract, and it again becomes an issue, or rather, something that we should be conscious of, that not every contract are the same. They are very much, depending on what the vendor is looking for. So we really need to protect our rights. That's where a qualified solicitor will come in. Once you buy the property, a property manager, again, a very qualified role in the portfolio that we are talking about. Then the insurances. So there's a handful of members that we really need to have in our portfolio, because it's all about passive investing, and it has to be managed passively as well. It's not that one has to quit their job to do all this research. There's a qualified team. All we need is a mindset that, yes, this is what we want. Have the right team working for you in your best interest. So in a nutshell, what we need is basically a qualified broker, a qualified investment strategist, a qualified buyer's agent, a qualified solicitor, a qualified property manager, among others. So these are the main ones. The good thing about strategist, he would have access to all the other people as well. So all you need is to know is basically just one point of contact, and that can help you to get to where you want to be. With that, I'll finish that. So it's all about making your hard-earned money work harder so that you can live the life you desire at your own terms. Thank you.